Hello, thank you for joining us for today's thought for today, Thursday, the 5th of December. The readings for today are Job chapters 6 and 7, Micah chapter 2, and Habakkuk chapter 12. The title of today's theme is That We May Share His Holiness, which is taken from our third reading, Hebrews 12. So in Hebrews chapter 12, this provides a sequel to the challenging 11th chapter on faith, which provoked our thoughts yesterday. It starts, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely and lets us run with endurance." The cloud of witnesses are, of course, those who were named as men and women of faith in chapter 11. None were perfect, but they grew in faith. They were made strong out of weakness. Chapter 11, verse 34. As well as seeing their example, our ability to endure is made stronger by looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy set before him, endured. The Greek word for looking is a special word. The NEB, for example, renders it as our eyes fixed on. And this attitude of mind is further emphasized in the next verse. Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. Paul, assuming he is the author of Hebrews, then writes of the essential value of discipline and quotes Proverbs 3 verse 11-12 in verse 5 and 6. "Do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves." And then makes this inspiring point in verse 10. "But he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness." Then he adds, "For the moment, all the discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it." So now we think of Job. We are reading at the moment his words of distress and also his frustration with those who are classified as his friends. But as we complete this book this month, we will marvel at its climax. Job achieves a wonderful insight in knowing the Almighty, as well as final and wonderful personal benefits. Our Hebrews chapter draws to a close with a quotation we will soon read from the prophet Haggai, as follows: "Yet once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens." Verse 26. So many scriptures indicate that a mighty earthquake is part of God's final judgments. Consider Isaiah 29 verse 6-8 and Zechariah chapter 14 verse 4-9. While in Revelation 16 verses 17-19, it is the sequel to Armageddon. Extreme earthquakes have often included volcanic eruptions, so that the atmosphere is seriously affected. Some prefer to think it is only the political heavens that are shaken and destroyed. That may be so, but we doubt it. Our Hebrew chapter ends, "Therefore let us be grateful for receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, and thus let us offer to God acceptable worship with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire." With an attitude of reverence and awe towards God, we can have confidence and faith that we may also share his holiness. Thank you for joining us for today's Thought for the Day. And remember, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, do all to the glory of God, acknowledging that the antidote to sin is to do good.